Hey, no worries. I'm not going to pretend that we can predict the future. So I appreciate your time. It's not in vain, and I'm sorry that it took so long.
No problem. Would you like me to transfer you to my manager?
Absolutely, that'd be wonderful.
Okay, just a moment, please, sir.
Appreciate it.
My criminal registry clerk who explained all this to you. So, and then you asked to speak to a manager, and that's what you've done. Are you looking for further information?
She actually was only able to give in a personal capacity what she believes was the process, but she wasn't able to. She did really well, but it kind of was a suggestion that I speak to yourself there just to get some verification on a few things that we weren't sure about. She said as far as she knew and you know, from what she's been led to believe but I was just looking for the procedural correctness relating to this 810-1A that your system seems to use.
Hi. Okay.
Do you guys get it figured out?
I did speak to the registry clerk, and I believe this has something to do with you were originally, the police charged you with uttering threats.
One second.
Crown Counsel.
1 second. You're saying, are you saying that charged me? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm just observed a file and had some questions about it. So there's not necessarily a connection. Yeah.
Okay, so you observed a file?
Yeah, that's what I believe the CSO is there for, right?
What do you... Okay, so you looked on CSO, you just found some random file, and now you want to know all of these procedural questions about it?
Well, there's a public accessible domain, and when using that domain, and looking at just trying to get a bearing as to how the domain is set up for those using the interface, and so these are just clarifying questions in order to try to navigate.
Okay, so you're talking about court services online?
That's where I guess the file number comes from.
Okay, so just let me see if I can follow this along. So you have this file, and you want to know the procedure for it, of what it means, for the fact that this person was charged by the police. The Crown Counsel said, we don't believe it falls under that. We're going to lower the charge to a peace bond. That person then doesn't show up for court, and a warrant is issued for their arrest.
One alteration, it's actually a file that you guys have, and that I observed, and now I'm just questioning about the procedure related to what you guys call an 810-1A. So not necessarily is it to do with that file, but it's brought to attention, this 810-1A, and I just wanted to know what the process is. The online, like the internet, is kind of giving some information, and I don't believe everything on there. I like to talk to somebody that's familiar, like maybe potentially yourself here, and I found that it's telling me that the first step is a sworn application, and it seemed like me and the other lady there had said that, yeah, you know, that's correct. The sworn application is first, and then there's going to be a step 2, and I just wanted to know what is the procedure from 1 through I guess the end.
Okay, so my understanding was that was explained to you by my registry clerk.
Oh yeah, she transferred me to you because she just transferred me to you because she wasn't sure. That's all.
Okay, so my role in the registry is actually just to kind of oversee want to know an actual operational question, your best bet is to speak to the registry, like somebody who works at the criminal desk.
That was who I spoke to. That's who I spoke to was at the criminal
Yeah.
desk. Yeah, she transferred me to you.
Yeah. She transferred you to me because you asked to speak to somebody higher.
No, she transferred me because I was still looking to get an answer she couldn't answer, and I think she had made the determination that someone higher may be holding these answers.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to tell you that I am not holding the answers.
No problem. Maybe she should be made aware of that. Maybe just transfer me back so that this isn't in vain, because we can't necessarily spend this much time and not get anywhere, right? And still have confusion over something that seems simple, like an application or a peace bond, right?
Okay. Okay. Well, I will put your phone call through. Just a moment.
Appreciate it. So you're telling me she's the one with the answers, so to not give up. She's
No.
Oh.
No. See, the thing about the registry, sir, is that the courts are only involved on the last step of this process. It starts with the RCMP, it goes through Crown Counsel, and then it ends up in the court system. So if you're asking for a process, how it starts, then we're not the people to answer that question.
So an 810 application does not begin with an application for a peace bond.
Just one moment.
Thank you.
Well, because it doesn't begin with an application. It begins with an information. And all that in Canada, all that in BC in specific, all that is needed is an RCMP to issue. They have the authority under whatever laws the RCMP have to issue undertakings for people that may or may not have committed a crime, as everybody is innocent until proven guilty. They have the authority to issue what we call an undertaking, which would have a court date on it, to come before a judge to deal with the matter.
Right, but like as you said before, that it needs to be seen by a JP in order to determine whether or not to move forward with a summons.
Yes, but the RCMP have the power to put conditions on people based on the information that they've gathered before it goes to the Crown Counsel for their.
So that's the sworn application. So the officer swears an application, which is the beginning process for.
So the officers don't swear any applications. There's no applications. It's just information gathering. They would do an investigation, and they would give all of their notes to the Crown Counsel, who then prepare the information, not application.
Okay, so the investigation. What starts the investigation into an 810?
Someone making a complaint against a person.
Okay, perfect. And that complaint, is that something that will be documented? I would assume.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
and is that complaint sworn in?
It's just given as the JPs receive what we call a report to Crown Counsel, and it gives the basically an overview of what has transpired to lead them to that point.
So that's a yes then, right? Because the officer's going to sign that,
Yeah.
right? He's going to, So it is correct. Yeah. There's a sworn application, and then there's a judicial review, and then a summons. So why would an officer then fill out a promise to appear on something that hasn't been sworn in, or a judicial review is commenced for a summons? Does that adding up now?
You would have to ask the RCMP how they have the power to do that, because I don't know. I just know that the RCMP have the power to do that. It's granted in our legislation that they're able to do that.
Right. So